Imagine that you were born at a time where you could become really happy and successful right now because you are in alignment with the changes that are happening in our universe and you're deciding that you're going to go with that. And going with it means that you take the next step on your evolutionary journey or your self development or whoever it is that you're meant to become. And then you put into the world this energy of love and light because you're loving yourself now. That's what I'm doing today. I was given a philosophy that could change your life and change the world because it is based in science. It's been proven and it's in alignment and it's been shown to work because I'm here and I'm 74 and I'm healed of everything. The only difficulty you will have is self-belief. I didn't believe I had done this. You won't believe that you might be able to do certain things. You might not believe that this work has been done either, which is why I said I have to change. Several years ago, when I started talking about this, um, in a channeling session, Wilhelm said, nobody's going to buy it unless it's $5,000. They won't believe it. And I'm thinking, why is that? Well, we have a consciousness that only gets set at a certain place, and we think that if we have to struggle, maybe it'll work. That's what happens because we've been used to struggling in our society for so long, and we're going to keep doing it. And so Wilhelm said, no, why don't you change that? And when they had me start doing channeling, because I didn't want to do that, but they said, no, you've got to do it because you want to talk about this one thing that we want everyone to understand, why they've been hypnotized and why they won't understand how valuable this is. It's because they're still thinking about their parents. They're still thinking about their grandparents and how they were kept down. It doesn't matter who you are, what country, what nationality, none of that matters. It's generational beliefs that we have, and we're moving through a collection of generational beliefs, which it makes it hard to accept certain things. Like, how did I do this? And I'm going to leave some documents because I'd love for you to see them because I'm going to publish all of this. We have to document when someone comes along in human history that does something that's never happened. And that's what I've done. It was hard to tell you. It's so interesting. I hid from myself for so long because I said, I can't talk about this. People are going to think I'm out of my mind. And then when I tell them, they don't believe me anyway. So what was I hiding from? That's probably what you're going to find about yourself as well. We just hide from ourselves. How do you know who you're going to become? And I have the proof. So I guess I should start owning it now. This is what I'm saying to you. So what I was told that we would be moving through this huge transition in our world and look a little chaotic, especially in the United States. And there are reasons for that because they're energetic portals that are always being activated and moving and changing, and we react to that as humans. And then we start studying, oh, wait a minute, these changes in planets and move that affects us emotionally and it brings up our memories. It does. Our memories of everything, what we've lived, how we've been changed, and how we've been programmed. That's really what it is, which makes it difficult to move out of what we're in now. And it's so surprising for me to see what's happening in the world because Wilhelm told me all of that. None of it was surprising. The very first message in 2021, it wasn't the first message I received, but it was one they wanted me to use when I had to start doing. They said, you've got to start doing a channeling. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to go through that. I said, I can't channel in public for people. They said, no, it's going to be necessary. They're going to want to understand. And so let me tell you, because we're right in that place now. Always with Wilhelm messages, it takes a while for us to understand them because it's coming from a different place of consciousness. But this was February 22nd of 2017. Money, love, control, and power are intricately woven together in your life, so much so that you have difficulty recognizing the distinctions. This very issue is the cause of many difficulties you and others experience. It will take some time for you to decipher all of this, but this is a good place to begin. You begin to associate money with love, power, and control because that is how you grew up. If your parents or those in charge gave you something of value or money, you associated that with being loved. But you also associated this with your parents holding all the control and power. You then begin to usurp those characteristics and begin using them in your own life. You will think that if you give another enough money, you will feel loved and experience your own power as well as control over others. This is never what you are truly seeking. As you can see, this is just the beginning. Ponder this for a bit. Now, you can think about what's gone on in our world right now, and that's why they talked about that. We've lost the value of every person, and so we've been hypnotized to think those in power with the money had, those with the money had all the power because we're still looking at our parents in that way. And then we don't sustain ourselves. And I've done that because this was too much for me to handle. I'm saying that because sometimes you feel that way in your life. But I now have everything. I have an encyclopedia of personal development, self-actualization, and ascension tools. I'm going to leave all the links because none of this was accidental. It's completely aligned with what was happening in our world, and you'll understand it. I'll leave a lot of the documents in this description because I want you to see it. But what I'm doing is putting together also a presentation because I want to bring this to other people or investors or people who can market it well because it changes your life, and that it's science. How could it not work? And so that's what I'm doing. You believing it is always the hardest part. Believing yourself is always the most difficult. Listen, I didn't think any of this happened, even though it's never happened in history, so it was challenging for me. But that's also why I know who you are and what you can do in this world. See you soon.